Is this thing on? This this might be the third week that this is happening. But you know what? I don't know if you can hear me. Well, I got a thumbs up last time, so I don't trust the internet anymore. But I blame it on Mercury retrograde because that's the LA thing to do. And I think I said that last week. I'm not sure. I was gonna say, like, give me a thumbs up if you can hear this. But if you can't, well, then you won't give me a thumbs up. Oh, guys. Everyone can hear me. Cool. Well, I guess we'll just get started. I am on YouTube, of course. I am also on Facebook and on Twitch. Um, yeah, this show almost didn't happen, but we're here. Um, Horror movies are a great place for us to just kind of escape. But I do have something to say. Um, in the past, I've said that if you watch a bad horror movie, then at least it's a comedy. Do you guys hear that? You don't hear it. I hear it. I'm going crazy. It's fine. But yeah, that it's a comedy, and I'm here to tell you that I was wrong, and I apologize for that because I have seen perhaps one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and it was most definitely not a comedy. We will talk about that later. But we do have four movies that we will be talking about today. The show will be pretty short. I think the format of like 30 minutes or so might be the best option. And until we can get all the like things figured out and have it be consistent, then I just want to make sure that it's tight and we get it going. So I'm gonna check to make sure that everyone is on here. I appreciate your patience, everyone. I'm on YouTube. Oh, you can see all the fingerprints. It's okay, right? We're not gonna judge here. It's a phone. Like if you don't have fingerprints on it, what are you doing? Oh, captions are auto-generated on Facebook. If you're wondering, I'm there. And then on Twitch, twitch.tv/Amy Cassandra MTZ. Yeah, I'm just going through all of them. I know that I had some of you guys in this previous one. Um, but yeah, we're all here. Okay, enough talking. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Okay. So I mentioned last week that I will be having sort of like a format when I talk about these movies, and I have some kind of a format, and we'll test it out this week. So the first movie that I do want to talk about, the graphic will be popping up soon. That's a hiccup. Is warning: do not play. Dun dun dun. Warning, do not play. My goodness. Okay, so here's what you need to know. You can find it on Shudder. Shudder, I've mentioned it before, not sponsored, but it's a great place for you to go and check out horror movies. Um, yeah, they have like a crap ton of them, and it's basically a streaming service for horror movies. If you guys are not aware, you can always, like wait to get it until you're like, yeah, man, horror movies are my jam. But it's great that they do have it because some movies are available there that you wouldn't find elsewhere. So this movie, Warning, Do Not Play, was released in 2019, which was last year, and it's weird because I was talking today about how earlier it feels like we had January, and that's fuzzy. We had February, we had March, and now all of a sudden we're in July. So to think that stuff happened in 2019, I'm like, wow, that was forever ago. But it wasn't. So that movie came out in 2019, and it's an hour and 26. Perfect length, I would say, for a horror movie. It's like a happy length. Hashtag happy length. And this is a South Korean film. If you guys are new here, or if you're not, you know that I have really been trying to focus on broadening my horror movie watching movies. Does that make sense? And not just horror movies, but with everything, all kinds of media. Look, unless you're living under a rock, you know that our world is going through a lot, and um it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm not gonna lie to you and say that, like, every day is great, but I feel like as long as we're doing something every single day to actively fight, racism and be actively anti-racist and to, make sure that women's voices are heard, and I mean, I could go on and on. I think it's important to do that. And while we're taking a brief break from that, when we focus on media, we should take in other kinds of movies that we normally wouldn't. That includes foreign films, um, which is weird. They shouldn't be called foreign films. They should be called international films because they're just not from the U.S. They're not foreign. I don't know. There's a lot of learning that's going on, and I'm still like processing everything, and I hope you guys are too. But yeah, South Korean films are great. If you guys have never seen Train to Busan, holy moly! Ugh, by far my favorite zombie film ever. Spoiler alert, I guess. Zombies. And that one I would say it's a little bit longer. But warning, do not play. Okay, I have to say that this one, the idea of horror movies, a lot of it has to do with the final girl, right? So you end up really getting to know this character. Sorry, I was just looking at Spielberg. He's adorable. My cat. Like this little image right here. That's my baby. E.T. My other little baby is somewhere sleeping. Yeah, so the idea with the final girl is that they're the final girl and you're rooting for them and you want them to kill the bad guy. This movie does such a great job. This girl, she's the lead, the final girl. She's basically trying to make a really good horror movie. Like, how great! It's a little meta, kind of. And she tracks down this movie that's like that made people faint, made people have heart attacks. Like it was like a student film that was screened, and there was a lot of stuff that happened with it that like somehow like not powers, but like this other like being took over and like semi kind of cursed the entire production, and that's how the movie was made. It's a little confusing to try and explain, but they do such a good job. This girl, oh my gosh, she's holding her phone everywhere she goes, and I'm like, thank you. You are using the phone, your phone, like we all would in situation. RBG, what's up? And she's just like holding it and doing this, and I'm like, I feel like that's something we would do, and I think that that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I think with a lot of you guys, maybe too, where it's like, really, like no one would go back in the house. Like, come on, or like turn on the lights. You still have power. So she does things that you would do. She's a little bit braver than me because I'd be like, oh, this movie caused a lot of like pain and it was like crazy. Maybe I shouldn't go searching for this movie, but she does, and they do such a great job with her character development, especially like in the last act. It's so good, guys, so good, and the deaths that happen, like the kills, are pretty cool kills. Yeah, I think they do a really good job. Like I said, perfect length, not too long, not too short. All you need is a light jacket. Sorry, that's a reference to a rom-com. I realize that I also make a lot of weird references, like horror movie references and bringing in rom-coms. So if you're new here, it's a thing I do. I love rom-coms as well. Just making sure that you guys are good here. Hi Tommy. Yes, the audio is back. Thank you so much. Emma. Emma, yes. Okay, you do need to get Shudder for this movie, but you can maybe do a trial if you don't want to fully commit to it. Because I'm not about to tell you guys like, hey, spend more money, especially during quarantine. I know that sometimes money can be tight, generally speaking, and right now with things up in the air. But yeah, I really do highly recommend this one. And Shudder, especially, like I mentioned this special before, but it's called Horror Noir, and it's basically um, uh, the Black community, like how they got started in the horror industry. And it's crazy because it's like I can't even begin to like really summarize that documentary. It is a documentary. So I also recommend you watch that. So Horror Noir. Um, yeah. Blackula. Please do watch my other videos. Um, hey, the answer finally made it to a live stream. Hey, welcome. The Mickey, yeah, Shutter is great. Yeah, if you don't Shutter, hey, you're not sponsoring me, but maybe someday you will. I don't know. Maybe we can work together someday. I don't know. We're just gonna like put that out there, okay? Because you do great work, and I really appreciate you giving us a place for like horror content. Horror content. My throat's a little dry, so if I start like choking, just ignore it. It's part of the mood, right? Horror movie right here. So that's the first movie. Yeah, I yeah, Nikki, what is your favorite movie you've seen on Shutter? Yeah, please let me know if you have Shutter. What's your favorite movie that you've seen on there? If you're contemplating getting Shutter, but are like, maybe warning do not play would be a good option for you to start with. Yeah, let's keep the conversation going. I have all three, you can't see, there's all three tabs. So this is the perk of watching it live. I see your comments and I can answer them and reference them. Okay, the next movie that we're going to talk about, mentioned about diversifying the movies that I'm watching. That also means watching movies from the 50s, from the 60s. Horror movies. I mean, I've seen Frankenstein, like 1931 Frankenstein. But like more recently, I definitely had gotten into a kind of a safe space of like 70s and 80s. Yay! So this week I watched Bunny Lake is Missing. Okay, so here, ooh, that was a really scary moment. Did you guys see it? Like my eyes just like rolled back, and I did that on purpose, but like I think I got a little too carried away with it. I'm sorry. Where am I? This is horror hangout after all. Okay, that's enough, maybe. So some things about Bunny Lake is Missing. Okay, so you can find this one on Criterion. Criterion. I actually don't know how to say that word. Is it Criterion? Criterion. The Criterion Collection. But you can also rent it for $3 on Amazon. This movie was released in 1965, and it's an hour 47. Don't let the slightly longer runtime deter you from watching this. The pacing is actually really good. It is in black and white. I don't know how you guys feel about movies that are in black and white, but I remember being a young little lad. No, I'm just kidding. I can't even pretend to talk like that. When I was younger, I used to watch I Love Lucy, and it's so easy to get so used to the black and white film that when you get back to color, you're like, this is jarring. But yeah, this is in black and white, and this is actually from the UK. Um, Bunny Lake is Missing. Without giving too much away, it's uh, it will make you question everything that you've seen. So like maybe halfway through the movie, you start thinking like, wait, something's up. The title kind of does give a little bit of away. What are words? Does give a little bit of it away. Bunny Lake is missing. Who is Bunny Lake? She does go missing. Do they find her? Mm, is she alive? Who is Bunny Lake? You will find that out. But you basically end up questioning the first half of the movie because you're like, wait, what was real? What was not? It's a little bit of a psychological thriller in a way. You're not going to see like stabbings, you're not going to see gore, as opposed to a different movie that I will be talking about that I have very vocal opinions about. Bunny Lake is Missing also really does a great job of making you not trust anyone, which I think is an important aspect of horror, right? Because like you don't know, especially with suspenseful films like suspense, you start wondering like, well, geez, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Are they all good? Are they all bad? Like I don't understand. And I think that those are some of the more interesting movies where it's not just so clear cut. They do a really good job with like blocking, I guess you could say. Yeah, like the cinematography as well. It feels like with black and white movies, you obviously have to be very careful of lighting and making sure that you can see everything properly. More so, I would say, than a film that is in color, because black and white, it's all you have. You don't have like the use of like, ooh, look at all this blood and it's all red. You don't have that. So they do a really good job of using all of that to their advantage. I don't want to give anything else away. I think I started watching it and I was like, okay, cool. Bunny? Who's Bunny? Okay, all right. Okay, what? She went missing. Oh my gosh, where is she? No, they don't believe her. Ah, ah. Does that? I don't know if that catches your interest, but yeah, 1965, which is crazy. Um, the answer: top horror movie of all time. You know what though? What month are we in? We're in July. I think in October I'll definitely have to like break down like my top favorites per horror subgenre, I guess. Yeah, because I think it's very difficult. And right now, this is what this sign says: horror hangout with Amy. But before that, I had something else written on there because I also work for Sideshow. I'm a host for Sideshow Collectibles. If you are unfamiliar with that, Google them because it's really cool. They have really cool collectibles. And we are still creating content during quarantine. And I pitched them an idea of like, hey, how can I bring horror into this channel some more? Which I have done in the past, but I basically did a video, should be coming out sometime, that says like, hey, you like horror movies or you want to like horror movies, here's where to start. And when I was researching that, like, I know that there are so many subgenres of horror, but crap, there's a lot. So you've got like gore, you've got psychological, you got slasher, you've got paranormal. Like there's a crap ton, and to try to pick one and like, I can't, I can't. But I think it would be fun in October to really like pick some sections. So good idea though. I love Lucy. Yes, me too. Hunter. I didn't even think about Bunny Lake is Missing being a horror movie. Oh, but it is. Um, the Mickey M. I think Bunny Lake sort of turns into a horror movie. Yeah, yeah. That Michael mask is freaking you out. Yeah. Who says it's a mask? Oh, I scared myself. It's fine. Yes, awesome. The answer, yes. Sideshow Collectibles. I also host for Geek Bomb. We have a show later today. It is 1:23 right now, Pacific time. We have a show at 4. Twitch.tv/Trisha Hirschberger. So follow Geek Bomb. Actually, you know what? In the description box, you can find all the outlets I work for. So yeah, Geek Bomb, Sideshow, Hollywood First Look Features, and Holly Scoop. Holly Scoop is completely different than what I'm talking about. It's about celebrity stuff, but I'd like to think that my scripts are pretty interesting. So feel free to check that out as well. Okay, so that's on YouTube so far. We have made it through 2 of the movies. Thank you guys, everyone. It's a day. I cannot speak properly, but thank you everyone for watching on these different social networking sites. Wow, I sounded like a grandma saying that. But yeah, YouTube, thank you so much for really commenting and engaging there, and on Facebook as well. What I really like about Facebook is that like I can see who's watching with me, because it's like, oh, your friend is watching with you, and I'm like, thank you. And Twitch as well. There are 3 of you on Twitch, and I appreciate it. I have streamed some games on Twitch in the past, and by some games I mean 2. It was fun. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, this is real life. All right. Moving on to this third movie. This third movie is Cabin in the Woods. Why did I feel like singing it? Okay. Have you guys ever seen Into the Woods? Maybe that's what I was thinking. Cabin in the Woods. Okay. Focus. Yeah, anyway. Cabin in the Woods, you can find it on Hulu. You can also find it on Amazon Prime. This was released in 2011, and it's an hour and 35 minutes. It is from the US, from us. So I've actually seen this movie. Actually, I saw it twice in quarantine, like during quarantine. We're still in quarantine. Um, when did we see it? I might have been a month and a half ago. But you know what's really fun about this movie is that when you're watching with people that have never seen it, it ends up being way more exciting. Not that it isn't, but you're like, cool, cool, cool. Because I'd already seen it like at least twice before showing it to new people. So then the fun thing becomes like, oh, what are they gonna think about this part? Oh, they already gave away part of it here. Oh my gosh. And I think that's the case with all horror movies and maybe even movies in general. But there's something about Cabin in the Woods that it's just like little droplets of information here and there. And then it's just like and you're like, ah. But if you don't like see it right away, then it's a fun little surprise. I really like Cabin in the Woods. We got baby Thor. And by baby Thor, I mean baby Chris Hemsworth. Think, like I mentioned, the fact that we get like little bits of information throughout it, especially at the beginning, and you don't really realize that until you know what's happening, and then you watch it the second time, you're like, wait a second, that, and and the idea that this movie kind of started before it started film. What? Yeah, like certain things happen and they address those, but you don't have to see them. And that's a perfect example of showing people without like having to show them every little thing. Like okay, does that make sense? Sometimes with films, it's like they feel the need to over explain themselves. And it's like, guys, we're pros. We've been watching movies for a while. And even if we haven't, like, we can pick it up, okay? Like, it's okay. You don't need to explain every single thing to us. Give us a little bit of credit. I think that's an issue with a lot of movies sometimes, and you're like, I'm smarter, please. So Cabin in the Woods really does uh, understand that we're smarter and that they can give us stuff, and even if it doesn't all land, that we'll eventually get it, if that makes sense. I would like to know how many of you guys have seen Cabin in the Woods, because as far as cabin movies go, this is up there. Cabin horror movies. You've also got Evil Dead. Would that be a cabin movie? Yeah. Um, wow. Are there any others? There are. I would even say Friday the 13th. No. No. Yeah. Friday the 13th could be a little cabiny. It's summer camp, which, by the way, we're fully in summer. So I hope you guys are going to watch Jaws soon. We are. Okay. So what was I talking about? Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, I mean it's great. I would like. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Looking at your comments. Okay, the answer. You never liked this movie. Okay, maybe. Oh, maybe you need a rewatch. What is it about it that you're not a fan of? I would like to know. Um, Hyper Sniper. What did you miss? Oh, we've only talked about two amazing movies, but it's fine. You can watch it from the beginning after this is over. Cabin needs to be seen more than once. Yeah, I mean the first time you're like so like shocked by everything that yeah, it would definitely be helpful to watch it more than once. Hunter, I've seen this movie like 10 times and it's at least as good with each watch. Ooh, definitely a horror comedy. Yes, for sure. There's a lot of comedic aspects to it, which I would say I'm like, yeah, this is great. I've talked about there's something in my eye. I've talked about levels when it comes to horror movies and how you can't really just go from 0 to 60. You have to like kind of work your way up, and if not, then sometimes that's what happens, that people are like, no, I'm wow, I really have something in my eye. People are like, no, I'm good, I don't like horror movies, they scare me too much. I'm like, well, it's because like you need to gradually build there. Cabin in the Woods I wouldn't say is the first level. I would say maybe it's like the third level, and I'm still figuring out my levels because this is completely made up. But I think it's a good idea. Oh god, it's a good idea to have those. I'm just gonna do the rest of the show like this. Okay. People in the chat are really liking the first Evil Dead. The answer. Okay. So the pacing and the big reveal at the end was meh. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I definitely the first time I watched it, I don't think I really understood the ending. I was like, oh, okay. Without getting spoilery, I do like it. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, okay, cool. But yeah, it's a fun one. Oh guys, oh, I got it. Wow, it was like a little, like a little fiber things that just like float around, or I don't know. Maybe my cat's just put it in my eye. I don't know. Um, okay, I think we're done talking about Cabin in the Woods, and I'm just gonna check to make sure no one else has any other comments. Now we're gonna talk about this last one, and this last one is the one that I am talking about in the title, Terrifier. Honestly, is it called The Terrifier or Terrifier? It's just Terrifier. I feel like someone was like, call it The Terrifier. No, 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 no. Just drop the. It's a reference to Facebook, social media. Okay. Okay. If you don't know me, here is my general thoughts about films and film criticism. I respect anyone that makes a movie. Why? Because it takes a lot of work to make one. I've been a part of making shorts, mini series, and indie films, and I know that it's a lot of work, and you're having to rely on a lot of people, and it's just like a giant team effort. And if one person doesn't pull their weight, then it's just like ah. So anyone that makes a movie, I'm like, awesome, good job, that's great. With that being said, when it comes to horror movies, I know I mentioned this before, that like if it's not great, then it's like, well, hey, look, then it didn't scare you, right? So that it didn't do the job that maybe you were hoping it did. But maybe it made you think. If it didn't do that, okay, like then if it was bad, then it was a comedy. Then it's fine. Like it's a win-win situation. It's not. It's not. Um, I have in the past really disliked some movies, and mostly because I was just like, oh, that was a waste of my time. But I can still, commend the fact that people still worked on it, and I appreciate that. I feel like you can't really criticize people for doing things that you're not doing. It's like Amy Poehler has this quote, and it's worded way better on her part. But it's basically like you can't criticize other players if you're not in the ring, right? So unless I'm making films and like doing this full time, I feel like there's a little bit of me that just can't be like, oh, well, I do better. And I think that that's sometimes what gets so toxic about film criticism and film Twitter. And oh, it's just draining. It is. And if you have an opinion also about a movie and people don't agree with you, sometimes it's like, well, you're stupid for liking it, or you're stupid for not. I'm like, look. Step away from the keyboard and just like chill for a sec. Um, with that being said, Terrifier. Um, the idea of the final girl is very important in horror. And after having discussions with my husband and our friends about it, it made me realize like crap, yeah. Maybe that's also a big reason why I've really been drawn to horror and like really have immersed myself into it the last couple of years. And it's the idea of like women fighting and women being the lone survivor at the end. Especially it's strange because I would say it's almost the complete opposite of a rom-com. With a rom-com, you got like, oh my god, I need someone to save me, or like, oh, like my problems can only be solved with a man. Like, no. Like, horror movies are the complete opposite of that, and I appreciate that. And like, women can get down, dirty. We can get the job done. We can kill the freaking serial killer. Like, we can do it. And there's something so empowering about that. But what makes it important about, like to see this final girl be the final girl and do that, is to see that growth in her character and to see her develop. And like maybe she starts off like timid, whatever, and then by the end she realizes like crap, like I don't need to make myself small. Like I can be exactly who I am, and blah blah blah. With Terrifier, I will be giving spoilers because I don't think people should waste their time watching it. And I say that with respect because I also know like a lot of people worked on it. The acting, I'm not gonna fault the actors for the performances because there's not a lot that was given to them. The writing feels very mediocre. And I say that because it's almost like, have you watched movies? Sometimes people just like don't understand that writing a movie, again, it's like a weird thing, right? Because I've never written a movie. I know writers who have written things. But at the end of the day, we still watch movies, and when we watch them, we're like, oh, yeah, like that life imitates art, art imitates life. Yeah, like that's how we speak. It's not just gonna be like, oh wow, no, please stop. Like that's not how women talk. Um, I also am a big fan of like guts and like gory things. Like, yeah, but you know what? It has to have a purpose. I don't believe in torture porn. Don't see the point of it. And I was like pretty pumped about it because I am not scared of clowns. Like, I love Pennywise. Both Tim Curry's Pennywise and Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise. I haven't checked YouTube for a sec. Hold on. Um oh, okay, interesting. Yes, guys, I am married. You can still like the content that I do even after finding out that I'm married. But okay. Um yeah, wait a second. Oh, okay. The Mickey M. I honestly think Terrifier is the worst horror movie I've ever seen, or at least top three. Can't stand Terrifier. The answer, maybe it's a girl. What's a girl? What do you mean? I love a good debate, but I won't belittle a person opinion. Yeah, which is great, and I think that that's important. I also really took a stand with the title of this video because it's like why you shouldn't watch it, and I'm still getting in there. Hi, Altry. Yeah, going back to it, I think it's important that people don't confuse sexual violence with horror. And I don't like the two getting a little too close together. I've had this discussion with my husband and with other people, and it's like that's a very dangerous territory. And as we've come to find out, like the world is already very problematic. We don't need to add on to it. I think that with film, it's important to show other sides, but also like when you're watching a movie, you want to kind of put yourself in the people's shoes, right, and the characters' shoes, and you want to empathize with them, and you want to feel for them. You have to get to know these characters. Terrifier just started off. It started off okay. Like it felt like a B movie right away, which I kind of find that term weird because it's like okay, like it can just be a horror movie. It doesn't even be A, B. Like, come on. Like it's kind of unfair that because you have a lower budget, then it's automatically a B movie because it's not like way up here. Regardless, I was like, okay, fine. It starts in Halloween, and you're like, oh, okay. You don't see any trick or treaters as far as I can remember. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like very low budget because there's only like two main characters at the beginning, two women who you think you'd get to know more about, besides just like barely any surface level stuff. You don't, and then they die like halfway through. Um, you know what, guys? I haven't even given you the information. You can actually not watch this film on Netflix, but look, at the end of the day, if you want to watch it, you should watch it. I don't think it's worth your time. But if we're in quarantine and if you want to watch something that is belittling, but you can watch this. But I highly recommend you don't. It is on Netflix. This was released in 2018, even though on IMDb it says 2016. But what happens is if they started the IMDb in the year 2016 and they put that year, you can't change it. So it was released in 2018. It's an hour 22 minutes, but it feels way longer. And yet nothing happens. So back to the story. Uh wait, the answer. Going to write a movie script today. Should take me 5 days. Hey, get back to us once it's done. Please, like give us the log line. I would love to hear it. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, so these two characters, you don't really end up finding out much more about them. The Art the Clown, Terrifier, Art the Clown is creepy in an unnecessary way. And I don't know how many women are watching this because some of your handles, you can't really tell. But I feel like women will empathize with me in the fact that like there's nothing funny about feeling uncomfortable and unsafe. Um, Whether a man is wearing a clown costume or not, there's still a way that men, not all men, but some men can make you feel really terrified. There's a reason why we don't walk alone without feeling the sense of insecurity. And that feeling was felt within the first 10 minutes of the movie. And I was like, ugh, I don't like this. And it was unnecessary because it was pointless. There was no reason for Art the Clown to be like this. The deaths, the kills were stupid. Were stupid. The only one I do have one really great note. There's this moment where he decapitates a guy. I think he only kills 2 men. The rest are women. Which like the kill count of men, women, like usually it's not a big thing for me. But when you keep seeing it and you're like, this is demeaning towards women, the way you did that is demeaning, you start thinking about it. He decapitates a man, and he does it very like slowly. And like, okay, so you're just trying to get the gore. Got it. It's not scaring me, but okay, cool. But what got really cool was the fact that he decapitated him, and the mold, the head mold, looked so good. It looked great. So that's like one note that I'm like, good job. I think that was great. Did it need to be that slow and like tortury? No, it didn't need to be. Why? Because we didn't really care about this character, because we didn't know this character. It was a different character. There was a part in the film that in the movie, there's a difference. That's another conversation, where he kills a woman by slicing through her in half with her legs wide open. Starting with, where do you think? Without her wearing any clothes. That's ridiculous, and that's so insensitive and in such poor taste. I have never felt so disgusted by a film in my life, and I've never felt like I've wasted so much time in my life. I hope that the people making it made some kind of money, and I hope that they're proud of what they made, because again, like once you put it out there, it's out there, right? And I just think it's important for people to know that if you watch this, like that's not what horror movies are about. And I don't think people, especially outside of the industry, the community, understand that there is a difference. Because they might just lump them all together and know that no. Watch Scream, watch Halloween, watch The Girl with All the Gifts, watch Blackula, watch, gosh, Midsummer. Like there are so many layers to women, and I am tired of people just giving us this much. Not to mention the fact that they're insensitive to the transgender community. Women, I've already said that. They touched on mental health, but like in a horrible way. It was highly offensive, and maybe I just read too much into it. But if I felt that way, and I watched a lot of movies, and someone like, okay, you guys crossed the line, then you know that something was wrong. I'm not usually going to talk about movies like this, because what's the point, right? Like I want to talk about good movies, but I think it's important to share this and to know that treating women with respect, treating Black people with respect, treating people of color with respect, just treating the LGBTQ community with respect. That's just everywhere. And the fact that this came out not too long ago, I'm like, you should have known better. With that being said, if you go on Letterboxd, there's a lot of mixed reviews. If you want to find out what mine was in a very short sentence or two, you can check that out. That's Letterboxd is a great place if you don't know. Also not sponsored, but Letterboxd is a place for you to basically keep a diary of all the movies that you're watching, which is great. And I have a list of all the movies that I've been talking about here on Horror Hangout with Amy. And it's just, yeah, my handle is the same, Amy Cassandra, MTZ. Excuse me. Okay. Sorry, I just kind of like went off for a bit, and I know that this took a little longer, but it feels good to just like let it out, and then just move on, because there's a lot of other great horror movies to be consumed, and it's time that we do so. There was just, it was a lot. Candyman, heck yeah, Candyman was great. Candyman, I talked about it last week. I'm very excited about Nia DaCosta's Candyman as well. Really, really like it. There's some weird things about the first one, not gonna lie. So I really appreciate the turn that this one's taking. Um, yeah. In short, Terrifier is horrible. Yes, this is true, Lance. Yeah. If you guys have any questions, right now would be the time to ask those. I would like to show you guys some of my little babies, but I don't know where the little one is. E.T. He's not right here. This is Spielberg. Spielberg is 4 years old and he is sleeping. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching this. This will usually be at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Fridays, unless scheduling things with the other shows happens, but yeah, generally speaking, it would be at 1 p.m. and the show's about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how much I want to talk about it. Um, how do you say your name? Fati. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I definitely want to continue watching different kinds of films. So if you guys have any recommendations that are not like your typical 70s and 80s, like super well known horror movies, or even like since then, definitely like international films. I don't mind reading subtitles. Love what Bong Joon-ho said at the Golden Globes, that if you can get over that 1-inch barrier on your screen, you would be open to a whole world of films, and that's true. So definitely recommend Warning, Do Not Play on Shudder. But yeah, keep those recommendations going or coming, whatever, in the comments below after this video is no longer live, because I definitely want to keep that going down there. Follow me on all of my socials at Amy Cassandra MTZ. That is Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. On Facebook, I'm there as well. This stream's there on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Amy Cassandra MTZ. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to tweet me. Feel free to comment below. Yeah, I'm gonna check one more time to make sure that I don't miss anything. Um, but well, yeah, Fati, thank you. Okay, awesome. Human Centipede. Ooh, haven't seen that. Have not seen that. Thank you so much, the answer. Yeah, I do have a lot of passion for this. I am also running on very little sleep, so I'm extra like, but that's okay. All right, guys. I will see you guys. I say guys too much. I'm sorry. I will see y'all next Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific time, unless that drastically changes. If it does, I will let you know on my Instagram. So please feel free to follow me over there at AmySandra.MTZ. Take care. Believe women. Fight for people's rights. Black Lives Matter. LGBTQ rights are human rights. The whole shebang. If you want more information, head on over to my Instagram. I will be adding more links for how to help. Our world is crumbling, and I think that we need to actively do something to stop it. It's okay to take some breathers, talk about horror movies, and then get right back out there. Sign petitions, safely protest, wear a mask, be safe, watch horror movies. I'm done talking. I was gonna say good night, but no. Unless it's nighttime. I'm done talking. Okay. All right. Bye, guys. See y'all later. Alligator. Wow, crocodile.